Hi FlossTube Stitchers. I'm getting a little bit later start today than I normally do. I went to the noon service today with my husband because at 1:30 his mission team was doing a, what do they call it, a report out of their October trip to Oaxaca, Mexico. And the missionaries were actually in town for this event, which we always hope for, but it doesn't always work out for their schedule. So it lasted about 2 hours or so, and I didn't get here till later this afternoon. But it reminded me to tell you about a little routine that my husband and I have on Sundays. I'm usually here all day, and although I want to do the video earlier in the afternoon, I don't know why, but things prevent me, and so I normally don't do it until the evening. And I always call him to, to check in and also to let him know that I'm filming, so don't call me now. I think it only happened once or twice in the beginning of my video endeavors, but often enough that I thought I better tell him that I'm actually doing my video now. So at the end of these phone calls, he always says, Buena Suerte, which is good luck in Spanish. And out of all the mission trips we've taken to Mexico, that is one of like 3 phrases that he knows. He's just never retained any information besides that. But I think it's so cute that he always says that to me. It's like it's real. He means good luck. He hopes it goes well. He hopes I'm not here until midnight. But also just his use of Spanish is so cute when he does that. So anyway, buena suerte. So somehow in all the confusion, we took 2 cars to the shop, which is about halfway from home and church. And then I went in the car with him so that we wouldn't take up 2 spots. And somehow in all the confusion, the vintage stitch I was going to show today disappeared. It must be at home on the kitchen island. But I did find another one, although it's not one that I stitched. It isn't actually one that I stitched, but it's one that I'm going to own if I don't figure out who stitched it. I've had it for quite a while. We've been in this location for 8 years, and I know that this was framed when we were at the other location. And I've asked all the normal people who stitch and loan us models. It wasn't one that was done as a shop model. It actually belongs to somebody, and they should have gotten it back. They never took it home for Christmas. There's no date and no initials, nothing on the back except our framer's sticker. So I know it was done here. I thought I knew exactly who it belonged to. She didn't shop for a while. She had had some changes in her personal life, and she wasn't stitching as much as she used to. And then I saw her a number of years later, and I tried to give it back to her, and she said she didn't stitch it. And I'm like, oh no, now I have to start at square one. So I've asked everybody and nobody is claiming it. But anyway, it's really sweet. I wouldn't mind owning it, but I'd really rather give it back to the stitcher. So it's JBW Designs in her French Country series, Christmas Alphabet. She shows it on red as a framed piece on the front of the chart. And then, as Judy is known to do, she shows her pieces done several different ways, and on the back is the green version done as a pillow. So this is the piece that we've had hanging. I think there's not too much glare if I hold it like that. So it's really pretty, and there's sweet little mother of pearl buttons on it, and it's just a different kind of alphabet, and there's all kinds of little motifs that, every time you look at it, you see something new. So that is the vintage stitch. If anybody recognizes it, somehow we'll have to figure out how to prove that it's yours. Actually, I know how we can do it. It's just a lot of work. We'll have to go back through all the framing records, and I don't really know what year it was done in. So we'll have to start back, 20 years. And well, no, we don't have to go back that far, because the chart came out in 2008. So we should start with 2008 and then tediously go through all the records from our custom framer and see if we can match up the name, which a lot of times the stitchers don't even know the name of their chart, so my framer makes something up. So we'll have to see if we can find that sometime, but it sounds like a lot of work. I'm just hoping that someday somebody recognizes it. Okay, there's that. And then let's just go into my whips. So this is a whip that was a free chart that I showed last February of 2021. And I've shown this to you with a little bit of a dilemma because I felt like the M looked darker than the other letters, and I had like 3 different skeins of onyx and I couldn't figure out which one had slipped out of the kit. So anyway, a lot of you said it looked fine. I know which letters I did with which skein of floss because I was trying to keep track of it. But I also was worried that it just wasn't as saturated in color as I wanted it to be. So if you can tell, I did the M and the A with an extra top cross. And it's a little bit tedious, but I do like it. And so what I'm doing is, my plan is to do 1 letter at a time, and then, you know, just do the 1 letter and move on to another project to stitch so that I don't feel like I'm working on it all evening, and I don't know. So that's my plan. So I got 2 letters done, and I like it, so it's all good. This is what the chart looks like. Isn't it sweet? The little snowman, the Santa, the reindeer. I think I'm going to do those reindeer maybe as ornaments because I just think they're so cute. So I'm coming along with that. Then I did a few more words on all our troubles. Let's see if I can. My board is not as wide. I think I can show all of it. All right, so I did a few more words. I'm liking how that looks. As I mentioned last time, I'm changing up some of the letters to make it easier to read, and I'm changing the spacing a little bit, which can get confusing if you don't keep track of it. I really need to make some notes on the actual chart so that I don't start doing the leaves in different places. Although it's not an even pattern, so I don't think it would matter if a leaf was off by 1 or 2, but you just don't want to get yourself confused and then keep making more mistakes. But anyway, I'm liking working on that. I just do, you know, maybe a word and then move on to something else. I'm not worried about how quickly it takes to finish these. And then I'm working on Hello Santa, and I showed this, yes, I didn't show it on FlossTube yet, but I showed it on social media, and I was just having some troubles with the O. I wanted the word to look like I had written it in my cursive handwriting, so I don't have my tails tied off yet because I'm just letting it simmer for a while to make sure that I still like it. But I actually took a piece of graph paper and using their style with the big loop on the H and the L's, I wrote it out on the graph paper just without thinking, just in my cursive writing, and that's how the O turned out. And I think it's okay because it really does look like my writing. But I didn't tie the tails off just in case. And the O is actually a separate section of floss than the rest of it because I had come to the end of the line at the L, so it's a new portion of floss, so it won't be that hard to take out. And then I just did 3 of the Santa hats out of the 5. So I'm really liking this. Probably each hat takes an evening, but that's because I've been working on the other 2 projects a little bit along with it. So, you know, maybe another evening or 2 and I'll be done with that. It's bigger than I thought it was going to be. You know, it's done as a little pillow, so it kind of looks like a pincushion, but I don't know. I think it's bigger than I thought, and it might end up being a picture. So we'll see about that. All right, so that's my stitching. Then just a little bit of new things, all in the way of charts. Country Cottage has their new Big City Christmas series, and the charts are all $7. This is number 1, department store. And then the Snowman Collector Series is the new one from Cottage Garden Samplings. And the first one is the Needleworker. That is a lot of stitching. It'll be interesting to see if all of them are that stitch intensive, filled in that much, and if people that are interested in this series actually stitch all of them. We'll see. But that was probably a good one to start with. Foxwood Crossings. I don't see new charts from them that often, but this is called No Two Are Alike. And those little snowmen would be cute as separate ornaments too. And I like the interesting font that they did on that one. Okay, and then the Santa ornament for this year from Sandra at Homespun Elegance is Joyful Santa. All right, and then some of these I've been trying to get for a while, and maybe the designer came out with one or two at a time, but only one's available. And I'm tired of waiting for everything to be in stock at the same time. So there was another one from Jeanette Douglas too, but I'll just show it next time. So I know she's traveling right now. So good tidings. This is cute. And again, each of those motifs would be really, really cute as little pictures or little ornaments on their own. So I really like that. La-Di-Da has two new ones, Be Merry All and Christmas in My Heart. Okay, Little House Needleworks. This is the one I was talking about last week that I knew was coming soon, Snowy Petites. And for this week's giveaway, there are 4 different petites so far: autumn, winter, snowy, and shoot, I knew I was going to forget. There's 4, darn it all. I knew I was going to forget that. Just go to their website or go to Hoffman Distributing and put cross stitch petites in the search, and you'll find there's 4. I didn't write them down. But pick which one you want. Now you're going to need to know the 4 names to know what to choose. Okay, I'll look it up and I'll put it on the screen there. You can say petites or you can say exactly which chart you want, and I'll figure it out. Okay, and then Sweet Wing Studio had 2, but one of them just is unavailable every time I order it. So we'll just show this one, the Newborn King. The other one is also a Christmas one, so hopefully that'll come in next week. And Tra La La has a new one that's a drum, but probably would also be really pretty as if you can imagine that as a full horizontal picture. It would be really cute. And this means among the flakes, under the flakes, something like that. But it's really cute. And then we have just a couple bigger charts. Polly Maria wasn't part of our auto. It was a separate chart. And honestly, I forget the story behind this. I think, it was done for the Shanty Stitchers, and it's now available for release to, other shops. So that's why we get to have this now. But it's really pretty. I love the blues. So she shows the what the original sampler looked like too. And then Imaginating has latitude and longitude. And what I'm wondering is, if you did this for a newly married couple, or if you did this for yourself, would you do exactly where you are right now? Like, we lived half of our lives in Strongsville and now half of our married life in Brunswick. I would assume I would put Brunswick because that's where I am right now. What are your thoughts on that? I don't know, but it's really cute. I really want to do this. I think it would look good with our black and white in our entryway. Anyway, that's all the new stuff because it's heading towards the end of the year and people have they've released all their Christmas things already, and maybe they're getting geared up with their model stitching for Nashville. I have a little bit of haul from Hobby Lobby. A couple of them are things that you could use as finishing pieces. This I think I'm going to leave as is because I love that handwriting. Doesn't it kind of look like Rae Dunn? It's not, but It looks like it could be redone, but I like that kind of writing. But I guess my point is, for buying something like this, when it's on sale, just buy all of them. Just buy all of them, because you can put anything on top and you can paint the sides. So if you can get it really cheap and it takes the place of a frame, who cares what it says? I should have bought two and put stitching on one of them, but I'm kind of not in that place right now. I'm trying not to buy too much until I really use some of my finishing haul. Anyway, this is another one that I'm going to use as is for right now, but you could very easily cover that with maybe a round design, and it could also be patriotic. It's already painted white on all the sides, so you don't even have to do much work unless you wanted it to look more prim, and then you could sand the edges, but it would be really good for patriotic too. And then I looked in the ornament aisle, because I think all the Christmas was 60% off. I don't know what it is this week, but maybe it's probably 70 or something now, but it was 60% off. And this I thought was really cute, but I could use it as is, but I'm going to put something in here and just change the jute to a different kind of ribbon, maybe a black and white check or something. But anyway, I just thought, you know, it's a circle, so you don't find many circles that you can reuse. So I thought that was a good shape. And then the other two were also ornaments that I think I'll leave this side the way it is, but put a smaller Christmas design on the back side, so that no matter which way you look at the tree, you'll have a pretty side to look at. So that's my little mini haul. Okay, and then I asked you last week for the giveaway to give us suggestions for working on black or other dark color fabrics. And a lot of people said, oh yeah, this isn't a new suggestion, but you know, good lighting, good magnification, get a good pair of readers to put over your glasses. So yeah, I mean, they're obviously valid suggestions. I just picked out a few that I thought were a little bit different, but thank you all for your responses. I love when stitchers come together to help each other. Oh, and have you noticed that YouTube has added numbers after all of our names? Somebody gave me a shout out on another channel that I saw the other day, and I thought, I don't think my name has numbers after it, because the numbers meant nothing to me. It's not like I would have picked out part of my phone number or my address or my birthday or something. But anyway, I'm not going to read the numbers. I'm just going to say the names. Cassie Jo Stitches said she puts her tablet in her lap and the light from the screen comes up through the holes of the fabric. And I thought, oh my gosh, my iPad is always right next to me plugged in. I don't want it to lose juice overnight because I read my library book on it, and then I also use it as an alarm clock. But I never thought to have it on my lap and let the light come up through the holes in the fabric. So I'm going to try that. Thank you. Duh. I never thought of doing that myself. Stitching by the River uses a small portable battery reading light underneath. Again, that's something that you might already have. Edith McClanahan uses a flashlight. And you know, flashlights come in all different sizes and shapes, and you could probably find one that, you know, snuggles in someplace, or put it on the floor, or put it on a table or whatever. But she said, don't have it come straight up, have it come at some kind of an angle. So you may need to try a few different things first before you figure out how it works for you. Then Nanette McDougall Dykes uses a light box, and she said they're fairly lightweight. Now, I remember years ago handling somebody else's light box, and it was very large and heavy and awkward, and I could never imagine stitching with something like that on my lap. But apparently they have more lightweight versions now. And Cheryl Broomba said to get an inexpensive one at a toy store. I would never have thought to look there, but she said they do it for children, for drawing, and that was just such a great suggestion that we're all going to be flooding the toy stores looking for light boxes now. So I'm glad to see that they're not as clunky as they used to be. Maybe they do still make big ones for other purposes, but for what we're using it for, it'd be better to have a smaller one that was lightweight. I love all these suggestions that have you using something that you already have at home. Maybe you have a stitching lamp, but it doesn't have a magnifier on it. Maybe you have a good magnifier, but it doesn't have a light. Maybe you don't have room to put a stitching lamp next to where you normally stitch. Maybe you stitch in bed. So I think these are very good ideas to use things that you already have at home instead of just saying, well, buy a good lamp. Well, you know, it might not be in our budget to do that. So I really appreciate it when stitchers help each other out like that. And then multiple people mentioned using a Q-snap or a hoop to help open up the holes to make them easier to see. Jan D'Amico, Jean Truckee, and Ann Hancock were three of those people. And Dana Lake also mentioned that she normally stitches in hand like I do, but for dark fabric, she would definitely, you know, put it into something that would help tighten it just a little bit and help open up the holes. Until you try it, you won't realize how helpful that is. But Dana, you may already know this because I commented on your comment, but we'll have to chat about which count of slate fabric you want because you were the random number generator's choice from last week. Okay, I think that's it for today. I did really well until the end, and then there will be lots for a blooper reel. Okay, see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. All right, and then the giveaway from last week was okay, let's see. Do I want to do that? Do I want to do that again too? Heck yeah, let's just do that part over.